Alright everybody, how we doing today? Hope you're doing better than people in California. It's time for the domestic news. And boy, oh boy, if it wasn't bad enough that California, due to its extreme far-left policies, has become an absolute hell on earth, it gets even worse now because, according to Reply, a California nightmare, insult to injury as fires and power cuts turn Golden State into a dystopia. They're losing electricity and wildfires starting again. Yay. Let's hope there's not a twin fire up in Canada again. Last time that happened, the air quality even in my hometown right here was so bad. We had smoke coming from the south, we had smoke coming from the north. Hell, we had the local advisory telling us to don't bother even going outside. But the million-plus Californians affected by power outages and wildfire evacuations can surely rest easy, knowing that their governor has just formed a new working group to focus on getting messaging to de-energization areas. California has been along what the rest of the world imagines the U.S. looks like. The movie and TV version of California, that is the real-life Golden State, is literally a hot mess. These days, with massive wildfires, Kincade, North Tick, and Getty in the south, displacing close to 200,000 people. The fires add insult to injury for nearly 3 million people whose power has been turned off by the PG&E utility. Officially, this was done as part of an effort to prevent wildfires, as damaged or sparking transmission cables can ignite the undergrowth. Indeed, PG&E equipment was blamed for 19 major wildfires in the past 2 years. Most notably, the 2018 Camp Fire that killed more than 80 people and destroyed the town of Paradise. The company is now saying blackouts could go on for a decade as it struggles to repair the transmission lines. Instead of focusing on keeping the lights on, however, Governor Gavin Newsom announced over the weekend that he was creating a special interagency working group to coordinate messaging and outreach to individuals who are dependent on life-saving medications and medical devices. With the constant power outages and the danger from the wildfires, I wouldn't be surprised if a bunch of people started migrating. Oh wait, they already are. Not to kick California while it's down, but it's the truth. Their crazy far-left policies have been leaving people to migrate in droves. And these fires and power outages are only going to make it worse. You think modern-day humans can honestly live with electricity when we're so used to it? For a day or two, maybe. For an entire decade? Yeah, no. People are literally emotionally addicted. They need electricity, or they'll go crazy. They're just so used to it. It's nuts, Our ancestors survived for literal centuries without electricity, and yet a modern-day human, some people go 5 minutes without electricity, and it's like they go nuts. This is amazing. The rate of migration will just increase. And who the hell knows where they'll go? I mean, we got the space up here. You can always come up to Washington. We'd love to have you. We got lots of space. And I'm sure Oregon would be nice too. And once you come up here. Then there's Idaho, not too far from here. You might even want to go so far as Wisconsin. There's lots of places you can go. It'd be better than California. Hell, feel free to stay. But as part of the project, California's Health and Human Services Agency, CHHS, will partner with Service Employees International Union, SEIU, and the United Domestic Workers, or UDW, to provide in-home caretakers with information. This will no doubt involve lots of meetings, paperwork, teleconferences, website, more meetings, and then meetings on how to have fewer meetings. All at the expense of California's long-suffering taxpayers, of course. The crowning achievement of the entire effort is a resource website for those in what the governor euphemistically termed de-energization areas. How are these people going to access the internet without electricity? No doubt that will require another interagency working group of millions of dollars more to figure it out. Meanwhile, the fires will be blamed on climate change, or maybe even U.S. President Donald Trump, depending on the coordinating message. Well, let's be fair. While people on the far left can be very crazy with their Trump derangement and whatnot, but really, when it comes right down to it, let's be fair. I'm actually a little worried about these people. Sure, let them migrate to other states. Probably for the best, but not all of them can leave. Like they mentioned earlier, some of them are dependent on medical services to just be alive. And if medical services can't function, the electricity could be impairment, the crazy traffic will be an impairment, the fires will be an impairment. Don't be surprised if you end up hearing about people dying from not seeing their needs being met. I'm sorry, but Gavin Newsom, you need to declare a state of emergency right the hell now. And then you need to ask, possibly even beg, for your much wiser, not as extreme neighbors to come in and help you out. And I'm not demanding that California recant their far leftism in return for help. I'm not going to take it to that level. But an honest plea for help, I think Washingtonians and indeed Oregonians should consider it a matter of simple ethical decency to say, here, Californians, here's some money to help with your medical needs. We're not doing it out of tax. We're doing it out of a generous donation. Because who the hell knows, if we do it through tax, who the hell knows where that shit's going to end up? We can't trust the government to have the fiscal responsibility. Maybe only during a state of emergency, which this most certainly is. But going forward, providing basic utilities to Californians is literally less of a priority for Newsom than setting up a training program to prevent inadvertent insensitivity towards transgender voters. No, really. Besides, actually providing power would require effort and wouldn't line the pockets of either state bureaucrats or union machine in which they depend on for re-election. I actually kind of hate this article. I mean, even I did a little bit, but they're just kicking California while they're down. I do not like this article. Instead, the long-suffering Californians get to pay for the privilege of being on the receiving end of messaging by the state that has failed them. On TV and movie screens, California is still the land of eternal sun and surf, where dreams come true. Actual Californians are abandoning the state in droves, if they can afford it. Those who stay seek solace in dark humor about problems the government simply refuses to address. An epidemic of homelessness, human waste drowning the streets of major cities, or medieval diseases making a comeback. There's little they can actually do to hold their politicians accountable. Thanks to a series of tweaks over the years, California is at this point a one-party state where a glass of water labeled Democrat is guaranteed to get elected. Newsom styles himself a progressive and a leader in the fight against inequality, racism, climate change, etc., yet under his leadership the state has regressed into a dystopia, self-destructing under the weight of incompetence, corruption, and downright lunatic political ideas. You have to give him credit, though. Not even Greta Thunberg could have come up with an expression such as de-energization to describe the post-technological world of her hopes and dreams, or would that be nightmares? Look, if you're just gonna attack Gavin Newsom in California without providing a solution to their problem, then you yourself are part of the problem. This article, while true, is a little cruel. This is not the time to be going after Gavin Newsom. This is the time to be helping out Californians. I would call on Jay Inslee, the state governor, and for that matter, the governor of Oregon, to load up some water bombers and send them to California and drop water bombs on the fires and get some sandbags and have an interstate alliance help California to recover. Once that being said, then we can criticize Gavin Newsom. This is not the time. This is cruel. But you're right. Gavin Newsom's policies did indeed lead to this issue. He left homelessness undealt with, failing to meet cleanliness standards undealt with. He was focused on far-left issues and far-left policies, to the point where it was only inevitable that this was going to happen. Point it out, but also offer help, offer solutions. Don't kick them while they're down. I mean, I did a little bit, but at least I thought of something. Which is more than I can say for the people who wrote this article. Who is Neboja Malik. senior writer at RT. Well, you know what? This comes from the heart. Fuck you, Neboja Malik. You're damn right Gavin Newsom's a bad governor. But now is not the time to point that out. Now is the time to help California with its problems. It's time to get people who need medical assistance the medical assistance they need. It's time to put out the fires. It's time to help them out, not kick them while they're down. Anyway, peace.